Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this lesson, we will see how different phytoplanktons can be used as bioindicators to assess the quality of the environment. As I said before as well, almost every type of living organisms can be used directly or indirectly to assess the quality of the environment, and so could be the plants, especially the phytoplanktons. Now, phytoplanktons, also known as microalgae, are similar to terrestrial plants in that they contain chlorophyll and require daylight to live and develop. ज़्यादातर माइक्रो एल्जी का हम जिक्र करेंगे इसमें, और ये बहुत सेंसिटिव होती है अपनी सराउंडिंग के इर्द गिर्द, बहुत जल्दी रिस्पॉन्स करती है टू डिफरेंट चेंजेस हैपनिंग इन इट्स सराउंडिंग. इट इज़ ऑलमोस्ट सिमिलर टू टेरेस्ट्रियल प्लांट्स. इट हैज़ क्लोरोफिल एंड रिक्वायर्स डे लाइट टू डेवलप एंड ग्रो. Most are light and swim in the upper portion of the sea where light infiltrates the water. ज़्यादातर वाटर बॉडी के सरफेस के पास यहाँ ये ज़्यादातर पाई जाती है एल्जी, माइक्रो एल्जी, क्योंकि यहाँ पे लाइट जो है वो पेनिट्रेट कर सकती है, so it needs light to grow. So that's why the microalgae is found mostly in the upper portion of water bodies. Algae are quite sensitive to contamination, and this may be reflected in their population levels and or rates of photosynthesis. When we study algae as bioindicator, we can check the growth rate of algae, or we can check the photosynthesis rate of algae and any other metabolism occurring in algae, and we can indirectly assess whether it is being exposed to certain toxic chemical or not by looking at certain parameters associated with microalgae. There are so many different examples of microalgae being used for detecting different types of pollutants and changes happening in the environment. For example, you can see here marine algae. It is used to detect the rate of reproduction of fish, that by looking at the concentration, by looking at the number of microalgae, marine algae, one could say that that water body is having much more number of fish or much less number of fish. Same goes with mosses and liverworts. These can be affected by the pollution of metals. So you can see here we can study different types of phytoplanktons, and these will give us different indications against different parameters, against different pollutants, and therefore by studying these phytoplanktons we can indirectly assess the presence or absence of these indications in their environment. Again, the story doesn't end here. By looking at these scenarios, one could also see what could happen next in the environment, as we discussed in our previous lessons as well. Now, whenever there is change in the diversity of phytoplankton species or in the metabolites associated with it, it may indicate pollution of the marine ecosystem. Phytoplanktons ज़्यादातर यूज़ होते हैं to detect changes happening in water bodies, और जब हम microalgae वाला को यूज़ करते हैं तो ज़्यादातर marine ecosystem sea वाला में चेंजेस हैपनिंग जो हो रही हैं उनको देखने के लिए यूज़ किए जाते हैं ये. सो इनको डायरेक्टली स्टडी किया जा सकता है, इनके डिफरेंट मेटाबॉलिज्म्स को स्टडी किया जा सकता है. डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ एल्जी, माइक्रो एल्जी, दे रिएक्ट डिफरेंटली टुवर्ड्स डिफरेंट एक्सपोजर्स ऑफ कंटेमिनेंट्स. विद एवरी डिफरेंट स्पीशीज ऑफ एल्जी देयर इज अ डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ मेटाबॉलिज्म गोइंग ऑन, and they can respond differently to different exposures of contaminants. So if we could study the changes happening in their metabolism, we could indirectly study what is going on in their surroundings. When it comes to marine ecosystems, when it comes to sea, etc., microalgae is perhaps considered the best choice as bioindicator. This was about phytoplanktons. I will see you in next lessons.